All right, gentlemen, this is Simp Class 101, offered to you by Professor Big B. Kale. All right, now, you're looking on the screen at one of the more famous simps, old school simp, Judge Mathis. And I don't know how many of you all saw the 30-minute video which I produced, which was entitled The 5 Elements of Simping. But in that video, I go through one of the 5 simps that you have out there. And one of them is the old school simp. And as I state in that particular video, an old school simp is really just an old school player. I mean, Judge Mathis has stated himself, when he was a young cat, he used to run the streets, peddle a little drugs here and there. He used to do his thing. Well, now he's cleaned up his act, and, after, a long period as a lawyer, and then, jumping into politics and that sort of thing. Now he's wearing the robe and he has the gavel in his hand. Okay? Now, old school simps, as I stated in the video, are constantly chastising younger players or younger men in general. And you're gonna watch this episode and see exactly what I'm saying. And don't feel sorry for this young man who is a simp himself. Okay? As Judge Mathis, as well as the woman who he's suing and her mother. I'm sorry, they're suing him, I'm sorry. But don't feel sorry for this young man. Okay, you're gonna see it for yourself. Okay? Let's moving on.
Next on Judge Mathis. And now, enter the courtroom of Judge Mathis. Plaintiff Teresa Crone says she and the defendant fell in love quickly, and he moved in with her and her parents. Teresa claims the defendant became emotionally unavailable and played video games all day, and she's suing him today for her engagement ring, which she paid off.
And she still has, by the way.
T.J. Backley says his relationship with Teresa was one-sided, and there were literally times when he would cry and beg her for love and attention.
Simping. Yeah, you've been simping, young man.
For Teresa, and would even massage her back for hours. And he's countersuing for unpaid rent.
Start with you.
TJ is my ex-fiance. I met the defendant in 2009 at a Halloween party. We hit it off and just fell in love with each other quickly. When he moved into my house, my parents' house, it was like having a child instead of a grown man living there. He wasn't there emotionally for me. He was not working at the time, and he would be playing video games all the time on his computer and on his Xbox.
How long had you all been dating before moving in?
Roughly about 2 to 3 months. And like I said, we fell for each other quickly.
Well, your parents must have fell for him too.
Yes. And they...
The man moving there with your daughter 2 months after she meets him. He may have been a serial killer. You all don't know anything about that man. 2 months. Go ahead.
That's what he was for Halloween.
That's a good point. And I guess her trick-or-treat started out with a treat.
Now, pause. Now, what you young men need to see, is this. Okay, when you get in these relationships with these women, look, and they offering nothing but, they offering you so much pussy and, the draws and, sexually satisfying you in so many different ways. Don't fall for the trap, okay? What you need to do is, look, you need to find out if, what other services she provides. Does she cook a decent meal? Does she wash laundry? Does she provide you, when your health is under wraps? Because, hell, we can't just run to the hospital or the doctor at the drop of a dime. Will she nurse you and take care of you? You young men need to find these things out. Another thing is the following, okay? You got some people who are good at baking. Okay, they're bakers. You got some people who are good at gardening. Okay, they have the green thumb. And then, look, then you got other people, look, they only good at giving up the pussy. They're only good at dropping the draws. You need to realize that, okay? You need to start realizing that off the break. Now, let's move on.
But sounds like it ended up as a trick. Let's see. How wasn't he there for you emotionally? What emotional needs did you have after 2 months?
He was not a good communicator. I would ask him, why do you not communicate me? He wouldn't have conversations with me, and he'd just tell me, well, I have nothing to say.
I had nothing to say because you told me everything I talked about was impractical.
Meaning, she treating you like you a little boy. Okay? And she already stated that you're doing nothing but playing them damn video games and clowning around. Okay? That's when, it's time to take that woman outside and look her in the eyes and talk to her. Okay? Talk to her. Stop laying on that damn couch.
Have normal adult conversations with me.
What do you consider a normal adult conversation?
Having a mature conversation instead of talking comical and like a cartoon character.
It made you laugh at the time, didn't it?
No.
Most women appreciate a sense of humor in a guy.
That's what I thought.
Right, yeah. What's she really mad about?
I really don't know why she's mad about it. To be honest, she says that I wasn't emotional when, there were points where it came to where I got so frustrated I would practically cry, begging for love and attention. We had to fight in our relationship just so I get a kiss hello when I got home. I was emotionally there for her. I would come home, I would give her a kiss. I would, when it come time to lay in bed, I'd rub her back for an hour to 2 hours till she fell asleep. Yeah, like really.
You had to rub her back for an hour or two?
Yeah, so that way she
took that long to get her to flip over?
And you deserve to be clowned.
Your Honor.
But she says I was cold, but it's like it just came down to I didn't feel loved or appreciated.
I guess you wouldn't. The only thing you can get to is the back. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
He is a drama queen. He over exaggerates. He acts like a little baby. He needs someone there 24/7 by his side showing him attention.
Now, once again, if you'll notice, she's calling him what? A child. A baby. Don't let these women do this to you. You're a man, okay? You're grown up, Your voice has dropped. You got hair on your chest. You're a man. You need to start walking about and looking these women dead in their faces and demand that they treat you as such. Don't let them put you in the playpen.
You're the one that said he was neglectful of you.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to suggest he wanted too much of your attention.
My way of seeing it is I'd like to have a conversation with my guy. And he just wouldn't like to talk or have conversations. And we get in arguments about that.
I'm sorry. I do conversate, but maybe not to what she would expect. But
Conversate about video games. That's all you talk about.
And, I give her my time. I am a romantic person. I would go and try to grab her by the hips and turn her to give her a kiss when she was going for the TV remote, and I would get the cold shoulder. The remote was more important than I was.
What did he do romantic for me?
Yeah, right. That don't sound romantic. That sounds like you a sex fiend.
I still buy a
Yeah, I don't blame you. She wants a romance. Talk to her, right? You want to have a decent conversation.
Look at the old school Simp at work.
One time he cooked me dinner and he burnt the potatoes.
He did his best. We're going to get to this breach of contract, but he sounds like a decent guy. Sense of humor, try to cook for you, give you massages at night, and he couldn't even get a kiss when you walk in.
I couldn't even get a decent back scratching.
Like I said, he's a drama queen.
You want to say something? Come on
May I
up.
say something?
State your name.
My name is Grace Pochi. I'm Teresa's mother, and yes, we made the mistake of allowing TJ into our home too early.
Now, young man, what you doing moving in this in this old woman's house with her. No, no, no. You come to her parents. You go to her parents. You don't know. You go to her parents and, you tell them that you got feelings and you like that her daughter. And, you let the parents know. Okay, we got to go back to that. Okay, that hasn't been done in a very long time. But we got to go back to that. Okay, not just moving in her mama's basement or in some spare room in her mama's home. No wonder she treating you like you a baby.
With good intent, they hit it off really, really, really good. He was going through a hard time, didn't have a family. We had the room. We thought, okay.
Well, they did stay in separate rooms.
No, I'm not going to say that, but my daughter is
Only when we
also...
slept, Your Honor.
My daughter is also an adult. Yes, I realize it's under our roof.
How old was she then?
25.
25. Okay, now, TJ, I'm going to say this about you. You're standing here acting like a man right now. Your relationship is your business. I do not dwell on that. You came into my home. Who had to bring up for you? And this is not about a lawsuit, anything. Who brought up that you should contribute a few dollars to our household?
You did, long after
Why?
I brought it up to Teresa.
Excuse me. Was it your place to bring it up to her or to my husband and I?
To you guys. I don't know. Could be either one, though.
Okay.
His relationship was with her.
It was
Again.
brought up before you brought it up.
Then why wasn't it paid before I
Now
brought
you're
it up?
on to something.
Ask her.
Now you're on to something. Did he pay?
I eventually did pay, yes.
Eventually.
After
I
how
did-
long of
I
being
did-
there, TJ?
What, 4
For what?
months?
Try again. Keep trying and I'll let you know when to stop.
It's
Now,
my, it's
I'm
my
gonna say
courtroom
this.
now. This is my I'll let you go, but now you giving orders.
Don't go away. More of Judge Mathis is coming up. Plaintiff Teresa Crone is suing her ex-fiancé, who claims he would literally cry and beg Teresa to show him love and affection because she was so cold.
We're going to move on. The breach of contract.
Yeah.
What breach of contract are you suing him about?
Your Honor, I'm suing him for an engagement ring that I paid off.
That she still
You
has.
paid for. Did you put anything down?
Yes, I actually made 2 payments on the credit card that I had gotten the ring on. Now, mind you, this ring was...
How much?
Oh, I think I'm really not... I think $100.
Oh,
or
well, I
maybe-
have to go with
Receipts
her.
right
You're
here.
not sure she is. Let's see what do you have there, ma'am.
See, she had my credit card receipt.
What is this, ma'am? What is this you're handing
That's
me?
the receipts for the payments that he paid, and here is the receipts.
The total cost? What was the agreement on the ring?
Well, prior to us moving on into the apartment, we were talking about the ring payments. We were both agreed that I would pay off the ring.
You keep saying pay off. That means...
Okay, another thing. Okay, gotta interrupt again. When are you young men gonna realize? Don't let these women who want to get married so bad that they will pathetically go out and get an engagement ring themselves and basically beg you to go in on half of it so you can hop the broom with them. Okay, this is another new age phenomenon, okay, which is brought up by these feminists. Okay, you're the man. You are the man. No, you go out. If you want to marry a woman, you go out, you get an engagement ring, you pull her to the side, you take her to a park, dinner engagement. Hell, you can do what my man Daryl did on Coming to America. And you make the move as a man to basically take her by the hand and say, look, I want your hand in marriage. Will you be my wife? Will you marry me? Okay, none of this new age nonsense where some woman coming up to you out of desperation, you know what, I was by the jewelry store, this, that, and the other, this, that, and the third, just go in half with me. No, you're the man. Okay? You get that ring. Now, another thing I want you to look at is not her mother, but this woman, okay? She is all business. She is all business. And she dressed in all black just like the judge. I'm going to tell you why. Because she's there for your funeral, young man. Your funeral. When you going to wake up?
Supposed to pay some. How much
Right.
was he supposed
He paid
to
off the
pay?
100 and I paid off the remaining, the 1065.11.
All right. 1065.11 is what you put into the ring.
Correct.
He put 100 or so.
Correct.
All right, and you still have the ring?
Yes, I do.
All right, so you want both the money and the ring.
I want.
That's a nice little setup.
No. I mean,
Now, look, that's another thing. See, you all don't get it. Many of you brothers don't get it. You men do not get it. Look, these feminists do not want equality. Okay, they want it all. Okay, they want the whole enchilada. They don't want some of it. When are you going to wake up and get that through your pumpkin-sized head?
our agreement, we talked about when we prior moving into the apartment that I was going to pay off the ring, and instead of him paying off the jewelry store every month, the full price, he would be paying me every month half. It was a $50 agreement.
And he didn't pay you anything?
Correct.
All right. And what else does he owe you for? That's $1,065.
Correct. And then
What about
$2,000 also. We were talking about getting a house. He talked to the mortgage broker, and in order to start the pre-approval process, he needed to have $2,000 in his account. We talked about it. I pulled out the $2,000 out of my account to put in his account, with the understanding that TG told me after the pre-approval process has happened, he was supposed to return me back my $2,000.
He hasn't, obviously.
Correct, and
All
that
right.
money is meant for my education, Your Honor. My education, he knows, is everything to me. I'm a 4.0 honor student, and that money was given to me by my grandmother for my education.
So why'd you do that then?
It was with the understanding that
inheritance.
that was still from my grandmother, not for my education.
You gonna count this woman's money? You owe her.
I mean, she says it was for
Tell
school,
her what
but
it was
It
for.
is.
you got grants for
Don't
school.
matter, sir. I don't care if for her to smoke crack with. It was her money. Talk about because of what it was for. She doesn't have a claim to it. What do you want to tell me about the ring and the $2,000?
The ring, yes, she did offer. She offered to pay the ring off, yes. I never asked her to pay the ring off, and so she did.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
And as far as the $2,000, I understand that it didn't go towards the house, which I was working with the broker to get the house. And at the same time in spring, I just recently got into union, and they started actually taking $400 a month out of my paycheck for, you know, pension, annuity, so on and so forth. And instead of having the conversation with Teresa, I had kept going, thinking that maybe I would find side work or something to put this money back in, and it pretty much got used towards our rent, our livelihood.
You agreed that you were to replace the $2,000 and you didn't?
Yes.
And with regard to the ring, ma'am, do you want the ring or the money?
The money, he can have the ring. I just want the money, and Your Honor, I do have a promissory
See
note
it, please.
that we both signed, and I have my checks.
Sir?
You short now.
And Your Honor, I also have text messages that he was admitting that he does owe me my money.
The total payment shall be $3,600. You sign that, sir.
Right.
Now, it's another thing that you young men need to start doing, okay? One thing that these women do, and hell, I gotta commend them on this, is they cross every T and they dot every I. Okay, stop letting the pussy blind you. Stop letting that pussy. And look, this woman, is very calculating and cold inside the courtroom and very robotic like. But I guarantee you, she wasn't like that. When she was getting all sweet on you, and you were up there, just letting down your guard, and no, you keep your guard up at all times.
I also signed that at her house with her family there after I got the whole you have backstabbed my daughter.
Your Honor.
With a gun to your head?
Not a gun to my head, but I mean, I've got-
Counterclaim $39.60. How does she owe you $3,960?
Well, during the year that we lived in the apartment, I pretty much went back and forth from the apartment to downtown. I mean, it's a 100-mile round trip. She wouldn't, you know, we talked about it before we had moved out to possibly move a little bit closer to downtown. She's got a 10-minute ride to her school, a 30-minute ride to her work, and she couldn't compensate for that. So on top of that, and the fact that she was basically a meat locker, you know, cold on the inside, a meat locker, cold on the inside, just a shell that's freezing on the inside, because, you know, I had to fight for respect. I had to fight for love. I had to fight for a decent back scratch and just couldn't get it. I mean, 3 years we were together. She did 2 loads of laundry, and I'm driving 2 to 4 hours on top of an 8-hour work day.
Your Honor.
The problem is, sir, unless you all agreed that she would pay this, you don't have a claim. You only have a claim on someone not paying if they agreed to pay and failed to do so. So this sounds like you were doing what a good mate would do.
What a simp. What a simp
after
does.
this.
Now, you just heard the young man. In 3 years, this woman only did 2 loads of laundry. I doubt if she was cooking, especially, you know, living at home with mama. Okay, that was another trap that you went into. Let me tell you young guys something. Let me tell y'all something. Look, you meet these girls, after one date or whatever, you know, first and foremost, find out up front, can this woman cook? Does she like to cook? Is she submissive by nature? Does she, you know, does she do kind things for her mate? You know, aside from what the hell she doing when she laying on her damn back. You find those things out. Now, I made a statement that pissed off a lot of women on Facebook when, during, what was it, Thanksgiving, when I put a post in and I said, hey, I'm seeing a lot of you women post that, you know, you burning in the kitchen and you can do all this. But, hell, I'm not stupid. Half of you can't even cook popcorn right. Moving on.
Plaintiff Teresa Crone is suing her ex-fiancé, who claims he would literally cry and beg Teresa to show him love and affection because she was so cold.
What else did you want to say, ma'am?
Just basically that the text messages stating that he does owe me the money, and he's admitting that he does owe me the money for the ring and for the $2,000.
Then you have to give him the ring. You have the ring?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is
Oh, now you ready to cry again, bro.